Hello, my brothers and sisters. So this is the first After Enlightenment extra, and I'm not sure how often I'll be doing it, but this one came to me in a flurry, and I had to write it all down. There felt like an urgency to this, so I have some outline here because I don't want to forget any of the important parts. So yes, we're going to talk about the trap of the seeker and how it's really easy to just get trapped into that loop of seeking. I was in it for 14 years, and it's purposeful and it's meaningful and it's exactly what we're supposed to be doing until it's not what we're supposed to be doing. So the seeking, it gives you purpose. It makes you feel special. And it also gives you a direction. I mean, it is absolutely appropriate. You can also get kind of a buzz or a high from it, a multi-dimensional high. And that can become addicting. And for good reasons. I think it helps spurs us on the path. So it's all appropriate. It's all as it should be until it's not. So the addicting part, the seeking and the reading and the taking in different perspectives, it is all very fulfilling in that it tells you how great things are going to be. It tells you how great you are going to be. The trap is when we get stuck in that loop of being just on the cusp of greatness. And it really is so easy, because if you're told you're great and things are going to be great, I know it so well because I've had to ask myself, isn't this the good part where, I know things are going to be great and everything's going to be wonderful and I know how special I am, but I don't really have to do anything about it. I know how that is. And I know a lot of us can get stuck there, knowing that things are going to turn out and we don't really have to do anything. There can be that loop. But the thing is, things just don't happen to us. They don't just happen for us. You have to show up. And I know we all know some people who think that just by reading the information and just by even believing in it, that it will happen to us and through us and for us. And I think there's a fine line between knowing that we are guided by a higher directive and then thinking that that higher inner self or the higher dimensions are going to do it for us and give it all to us. But we have to show up for it. What does that mean? We command it, we visualize it, we participate with it, and we don't just whine and moan about it, using it as an excuse of why we can't live. And I've been there so often, so I can say all this because I know it inside and out. I know a lot of us have made the decisions through the years that because of this certain experience, this certain someone, this certain symptom, this certain physical discomfort, we allow that to stop us. And absolutely, that has been appropriate. But I know from personal experience that we can consciously choose to direct our life force in whatever area we want, no matter what's going on in our bodies. And I'm just going to give you this an example. I could give you several examples, but a year or so ago, I don't even remember when it was, I was really looking forward to starting my Christmas shopping for my family. I was so excited to go the next day. This was a Thursday night that I couldn't sleep, and then I woke up the next day with the most horrible migraine, so bad that I was light sensitive, I was dizzy, I was nauseous. It was really the kind of migraine that would just lay me out flat. And I was so disappointed because I wanted to go Christmas shopping so badly. And then you know what my little one said? He was either 7 or 8 at the time. This is what he said: "Mama, your headache doesn't get to decide what you want to do. You decide what you want to do." And to me, it was like this little light bulb, this little epiphany. I'm like, you're right. I want to go Christmas shopping, and I'm going Christmas shopping no matter what my body says. And from there, from that decision, the molecules like rearranged themselves. Like I had a headache still, and I still felt dizzy and fuzzy, but I was able to go to the mall of all places and enjoy my Christmas shopping. It was definitely an altered state. It felt multidimensional, and that I could tell my physical body was still ailing, but my spiritual bodies and all my other bodies were carrying it along the way. We can direct our life force. And there's so many other times that there's things I wanted to do, but my body wasn't up for it. And I would just tell my body, look, we're going to have the energy to do this. And my body would always, always rally. Sometimes it would fall flat afterwards if it needed to, and that's fine, but we can direct our life force energy where we want it to go right now, more than ever. So there was a time that we had to transmute and cleanse and purge and process. Absolutely, we had to do all that. But we could spend forever in there. We could spend forever processing. And I know for me, I just got sick of the processing. I couldn't do it anymore. I do believe strongly for the Forerunners, the time of processing is over. The time of cleaning the wound, picking the wound, healing the wound, kissing the wound is over. And it is time for the wound to just simply be dissolved. There was a time when we needed to isolate and cocoon and to sleep and to rest. But now, at the end of 2020 and beyond, it truly is time to be and embody the greatness that we've been seeking for lifetimes. It won't be given to us. It won't be done for us. And we don't need signs anymore that it's coming closer. There is nothing to wait for. Our moment of enlightenment, that moment when the wound is permanently dissolved and we are irrevocably changed, is self-proclaimed, self-bestowed, and self-received. Feel into that. Feel into that. And this is so good. This is such good stuff. Feel this coming through. It is a true moment of knowing yourself as all of it. And you can't just trick yourself into it like I have in the past, trying to trick myself into that moment. So what I've done in the past to kind of trick myself into it is like to visualize a switch being flipped and then command my embodiment, my ascension or whatever. But you know what the difference was back then when I was trying to trick myself? I was still waiting for validation from something outside myself to make it a reality. Do you know what I'm saying? So here I am visualizing the switch saying, okay, I'm enlightened, I'm ascended, this is my holy moment. And then waiting for something to kind of get the message that I did that so it could be bestowed on me by something else. Really feel into that. And if that's the energy that you've been maybe kind of being stuck in. So instead of, so I'm saying, okay, if I say that I am God, then the gods will make me a god. Instead of saying, I am God, I am the God I have been waiting for, and there is no other power above me. It is up to me to give this to me. And because of the cleansing and the purging and the transmuting and the processing we've been doing, we can say this and know that we won't abuse it. We can be God and not abuse it. That is so important, at least it is for me, that very, very difference of thinking, okay, I'm going to have my moment and maybe that'll trick the higher powers into giving it to me. We are the higher power. So it was another trip for me into that pit of despair that made me claim my moment. I wasn't going to wait for it anymore. I gave it to myself. And it was so simple that it was hilarious. They all say it's so simple. It is so simple. But I acknowledge that it was my time. It had to be my time. However, I did show up for it. And I was ready to take responsibility for me, for all of it, and for everything. Enlightenment is the deep knowledge that we are now self-responsible conscious creators, responsible for everything, including how we want to experience enlightenment. So there is an urgency, I can feel it, for forerunners and way showers right now, because that moment is here, waiting for us to take it. Some are trapped in the loop of being always just on the cusp of greatness. And I had a visualization a couple of days ago when I was walking in the woods, and it was profound. And I said, oh, I really just don't want that to happen. But it was this picture of the second wave and the waves coming up after us, those we have paved the path for. I was seeing them stepping on the backs of the forerunners who were all hunched over at the finish line. They were using us as stepping stones and moving ahead of us. And I just didn't want to see that happen. Some of us have been paving the path for so long that we're stuck on it. But that path has been paved. Our job is done, and it is truly time to step into the embodied mastery of a very, very different second life. Most of 2020, I was living in an elevated consciousness that felt like enlightenment, but the wound was still there, so it was making me trip and fall every now and then, and sometimes very painfully. After I stumbled my way all through of July, I'd had enough of this shit. I was ready for my magnificence, ready for whatever changes it brought, ready for however it changed my patterns and my habits and my thought process. I was just ready for the permanent change because I was just so sick of myself. I didn't know how it would happen, but I knew I had to show up for myself, which is why I started journaling on July 29th. And 5 days of journaling later, my moment of enlightenment happened. I know how different life is afterwards. So many things remain on the outside the same, but inside there is a whole new landscape. And I say this in so many places now, but there is constant relief and gratitude to not be operating from the wound any longer. And I don't want to see any forerunners left behind. And that's why this is a multi-dimensional public service messages. The forerunners and ray showers are my comrades. They're my kins. They're my star family. They're my heart family. And I don't want to see anyone stuck in the loop. So this is my call to you. Get ready for your moment. Get ready to give yourself that moment. It is right there for the taking. And now I highly encourage you to get full access to my Chapter 1 diary, because you will see yourself in me. And I really do believe that maybe, just maybe, witnessing my own moment will spark your own. So this is the call. Do with it what you will. I will see you after enlightenment.